Hey guys, how's it going? It's been a while, I know. Probably been more than a year since I put anything up on the YouTube. And I'm taking the video today because this is a big day for me. It's been just about 5 years since I've gotten this car. The car's just about to be paid off. And I think I'm pretty much done and finished with this car. I've done what I wanted to do. I reached my goal that I set for myself, and I enjoyed it quite a bit while the ownership lasted. I'm gonna go ahead and pretty much go over what I've done till now and the progress that has been made. Well, let's get started with it, and I'll kind of go over what I've started with and just kind of go through all the things that I've changed on the car. And maybe I'll also touch up on, in the past 5 years, any of the problems that I faced or any issues I've had with this car, because I know a lot of internet is taking a lot of, you know, the Shelby motor, the Voodoo motor 5.2 liter is having issues, blowing up on a bunch of people, and just kind of share my 2 cents on what my experience was like. So again, I got this car on early 2017. Maybe it was late 2016 as a 2016 vehicle, brand new. Once I got it, the first thing I did was air oil the separator that were made by Ford Performance. So it was like an OEM part, but for some reason they never added it to the car from the get-go. I think it's 100% necessary, judging from how much oil I was able to collect with it and how often I had to clean the canister out. I got both for the driver side and passenger side. Again, the driver side, you don't need one for the driver side, just giving you heads up. All you need to get one is for the passenger side. That's where all the oil tends to collect. The driver side, for the past 5 years, I haven't had a single drop of oil collected in the canister, so don't waste your money on that one. Otherwise, my goal was not to touch any drivetrain. So past 5 years, I haven't added any power related modifications. Again, coming from my past experiences, I decided not to go that route, and knowing that again, these type of motors, you definitely want to be careful. So not even you know, oh well, I did change out the intake filter, but that was the filter to, again, Ford Performance filter, so it's still an OEM filter. That's literally the only thing I've done regarding powertrain. So once I got the oil separator, that's when I started to take this car out to the track. And first time out at the track, again, Auto Club Speedway, I believe my initial time was about 2 minutes and 3 seconds. And mind you, I didn't know the track. It was my first time out there. I was still learning. And with the bone stock setup with the Pilot Super Sports, I went down to about 1 minute and 58 seconds. And I felt like I kind of hit the wall there. Now, if I were to drive it again, I probably could shave off another second, maybe second and a half. But again, I was pretty much stuck at 1 minute 58, and that was maybe my second or third time at Auto Club Speedway. Again, still with the bone stock setup. I always want to learn how the car behaves without me touching a thing. And I immediately noticed a few things. The car had a very soft front end. The traction was not bad at all, the rear traction. It wasn't breaking loose that easily, but definitely the front end felt loose and it didn't feel secure, especially the Auto Club Speedway. You're generating quite a bit of speed in a lot of these turns, and you want to feel secure about it. So the next thing I decided to do was change out some of the suspension parts to 350R parts, which is still an OEM part, but I found out that the 350R has a stiffer front spring and also stiffer rear sway bar, which I really felt like that's exactly what was necessary, just because I wanted a bit more rotation and I wanted the front end to feel, again, a little bit more secure. So I decided to purchase 350R front springs. Again, the rear springs are exact same rate, so I didn't have to change that. and then the rear sway bar. And the rear sway bar is definitely thicker than the normal 350 rear sway bar. So I changed out those two things, and while at it, I decided to also add Vorschlag front camber plates. Again, all in hopes to give that extra stability on the front end. I decided to give it about 2.75 negative camber on the front, and the rear, I believe it's about -1 degree camber, whatever the OEM was allowed for me to do. Once I made a change, again, I took it back out to the track, again with the same Pilot Super Sport, and immediately I felt the difference. The car was much more stable. It was so much more controllable. If you own a GT350, I 1,000,000% recommend anyone to get the OEM R springs, OEM rear sways, and front camber plates. Those three things will change the way this car behaves, and really it should be how this car coming out from the get-go. I don't know why they only did it for the R, but it really makes things much better. So once I did that just suspension change, my time dropped from 158 to 156, between 155 and 156. So I shaved off about 2 to 3 seconds from that. And once that was done, I decided to do some weight reduction. Actually, before the weight reduction, I decided to change out the tires, because the Pilot Super Sport were pretty much done at that point. I tried initially R888Rs, and I've also tried Cup 2 tires. With the R888R, just going from Pilot Super Sports, I immediately went down from minute 56.5 down to minute 53. Minute 53. So minute 52, minute 53. So I shaved off another 2 to 3 seconds off of my time by swapping out the tires. For those who are curious, comparing R888R to Cup 2s and Pilot Super Sports, which were the ones that I was able to test out. And then currently I have Trofeo R, so I'll get to that. The R888R was, to my surprise, probably one of the better R compounds. I say definitely, in my opinion, better than Cup 2s for track usage. The compromise compared to R888R to Cup 2s is R888R makes extreme noise, road noise, while you're on just daily driving. It's very loud. There's a loud humming noise that comes into the car, and obviously in the rain you don't want to drive it. I tried to one day. I literally almost killed myself on the freeway going 55. You don't want to do that. So R888R has more compromise, but I felt like it held on to the heat much better than Cup 2s, meaning throughout the session it didn't taper off so bad. It didn't get as greasy, and it always stayed fairly consistent. The only thing about it though is after about 8 track days, the tire, I still had some threads left, but tire ended up heat cycling out. And what I mean by that is compound just got super hard, and it wouldn't really grip anymore. I had 0 rear tire grip, so I really couldn't, to the point where I couldn't really drive it at the track with the tire anymore. So that's when I switched over to the Cup 2s. And the Cup 2s, initially on the first track day, it actually was faster than R888R. I believe I reached a minute 51.8 or close to minute 52 with the Cup 2s. So I was happy with that. But after that first track day, the day after day, the tire just wouldn't hold up. It was nice that it wasn't loud on daily driving. It was fairly comfortable. It had decent grip in different weather conditions. Again, compared to R888R, of course. But again, it really tapered off on the performance, and I really didn't get anything near 152s since the first track day with the tire. And I got about 5-6 track days on the Cup 2s, and same thing happened. Obviously the threads were gone. It didn't cord out or anything, but the similar thing, the compound got fairly hard, and the performance dropped down to the point where I was hitting, I was still hitting high 53s, but it was getting fairly dangerous on high-speed corners. The rear was sliding around quite a bit. It was fun, but I didn't know when it would completely give up on me, so I did not want to take that risk. So after that, that's when I finally did my last modification to this car, and which I finally to finish off my build per se is a very mild build, but in my opinion, I'm more of a keeping the car reliable at the same time bringing my skill level up to what car can give, instead of throwing down a bunch of parts on it and hopefully it'll be faster. So again, I took out the rear seats, which were about 32 pounds, and I swapped out the OEM wheels. It was perfect offset in my opinion for this car. I never had a rubbing issues, never ended up needing spacers. If I remember correctly, it was between 5 to 6 pounds per corner that I was able to save. So safely I saved about 20 pounds total weight with the wheel swap, and obviously also the tires, the OEM Pilot Super Sports versus, let's say, Cup 2s. The Cup 2s were lighter, and also Triple R's, they're also lighter tires. So overall I saved about 7 to 8 pounds per corner with the tire swap. So I put in the tire, currently again Triple R's, and I put in the new wheels on each corner. And lastly, what I did was I changed out the battery to lithium-ion battery, because the battery itself weighted about 6.5 pounds. The OEM battery weighted about 28. So yeah, I saved about 22 pounds with the battery. So 22 pounds from the battery, about, give it or take, 25 pounds on the wheel setup and the tire setup. So that's what, 47 pounds, and then the rear seats were about 32 pounds. So you know, so that's good. 79 pounds, about 80 pounds, let's say about 80 pounds weight savings. So what I ended up finding out was this car, because of the high revving nature of the motor, when it's at the peak performance, you know, revving up to 8,080 to 8,250, going that high of a speed, when the car is under severe stress, it drains a lot of electricity from the battery. It requires a lot of, I don't know, it's wattage or voltage, whatever it may be, but it requires a lot of energy from the battery. And the lithium ion, the one that I had, one that was the super lightweight, it just wasn't able to provide that. So when the car was going through that, the battery was just draining. It wasn't getting recharged fast enough, and you know, it just couldn't provide the energy for spark plugs or whatever it may have been, and then the car would just fuel cut and it would just limp out. So I ended up switching back to OEM battery, and the lithium ion battery had to go. So that's that. So if lithium ion battery would work still for this car if you get a proper large size lithium ion battery. I believe those are about 12 pounds, 13 pounds, so it's a little bit heavier than one of those super lightweight ones. But if you're gonna go for it, get the bigger ones, so that way you don't have the same problem. If you're just daily driving or canyon driving, spirited drive, even the one that I had, smaller lithium ion battery, absolutely has no issues. It's only when you're in severe conditions, again, going over 100 miles an hour, revving the heck out of your car, it may do what I've experienced. So giving you guys heads up so you don't have to go through the same thing I did. The next track day, with again the current setup, with the weight reduction of, so now it's about what, 55 pounds, and obviously the lighter wheels and Triple R's. I know it's a little bit of cheap tire, the Triple R, but there was such a good discount on that from Tire Rack, I had to try it out. And with that setup, I was actually able to achieve the goal I wanted. I've always wanted to get to the time that I've seen some 350R guys were hitting, especially the really good driver guys. I knew they were hitting about you know, minute 57, 8 I know some crazy guys are hitting even below 56, but that was super rare. And again, I wanted to be realistic with my driving skills, so I was able to reach a minute 57. I'm sorry, not minute 57, it's 47, minute 47. I was able to reach minute 47 all at the Auto Club Speedway with pretty much a bone stock powertrain GT350 without the aero. Again, I don't have that deeper front splitter or rear wings to give the extra downforce. And with some weight reductions, camber plates, and R springs on the front, R sway bars in the rear, and I'm hitting minute 47. And I think that's a very respectable time at that track. And I think that was about it. You know, I went another track day after that, and I was still hitting 47, 48, and I think that's kind of my deal. And again, I really enjoyed getting that time out of this car, and I will show you guys a clip of my best lap of that minute 47, so you guys can enjoy that. And I will also add some kind of car chases that I had on my last track day with this car, and that's really it, guys. So again, you know, you don't need big power. You just, again, I went from 2 minutes 3 seconds to 1 minute 47 seconds on the same track with just very easy small suspension tuning and getting used to the track and improving my driving skills. And I think that's that. I'm gonna put this car back to as stock as possible. I think I'm just gonna keep the camber plate on the car just because I think it's such a necessity for this car for whoever the next owner is gonna be. I did put the rear seats back in, and I'm gonna put the OEM wheels back on, and that really should be it. Everything else is already OEM parts, so you know. And again, I've faithfully done oil changes. Again, red line only, red line 5W50. I've done it myself with filters. I've literally done oil changes every 2 to 3 track days. If I wasn't going to track often, then I would do it every 2-3 months, usually about 3 months. Just whenever I felt like it. I just felt like this engine needed some good oil as often as possible, fresh oil. So I literally had 0 issues. I've had no oil leak issue or oil burn issue. Again, very minor oil burn. Again, these high revving motors, they always do that. Even like S2K, S2000 motors, or any high revving motors will burn oil a bit. But again, I didn't have to add quart like every month or something. Even sometimes I'll come back from hard track day and I didn't drop even half a quart of oil. It was still fine. So I don't know if I'm blessed with a good engine, but powertrain wise, this car has given me 0 issues for 5 years. 21,000 miles later, again, strong as a nail. And the only few issues I had with the car from the get-go was some panel gaps, and I covered that in my previous video, the rear bumper panel gap. If someone looks at it, they surely would think the car had been rear-ended, but no, it hasn't. It came from the factory like that. Yes, it's that bad, the Ford quality control. I think that with the newer GT500s, they finally fixed it, but yeah, this car was no good with the panel gaps. And the only issue I had was also covered in previous video. The rear exhaust hanger broke off. So under warranty, they switched out the brand new exhaust system, entire catback from Ford OEM part, and they replaced it. Oh, I did change out the midsection, the resonator, into an X pipe, just so the sound will be same as 350R. Any others? Oh yes, oil cooler line recall. They had oil cooler line getting loosened up issue supposedly, so I did get that recall fixed in the first year of ownership. Oh, the last also modification I've done was I put in a brake caliper stud extender. It's what it's for is these front brake calipers are so heavy that when you replace the pads, it's very difficult to leave the caliper hanging somewhere, because again, it's extremely heavy. So It's a simple system where you know, again, if you don't have this, every time you change the pads, you have to break loose the stud, and that stud is literally one-time use, so you have to buy new studs, and you know, try to hang the caliper somewhere safe, and it's a hassle. And now all I have to do was I just screw in these metal bars to my existing nut, and the caliper just slides out, and it holds on there from the metal rod that I placed. And then from that point on, I can easily change the pads and slide it back in, and I don't have to replace the stud every time I do it. And it's already torqued to the right value, so I don't have to touch it. So I think it's a must as well. If you change out pads often, if you track your car often, and again, anything that can make your life easier and safer, I try to do it for this car. And really, that's it. So again, I'm probably going to leave that as well on the car, so for the next owner. So that's it, guys. And again, I am planning on selling this car fairly soon, probably sometime this year. And I do like to, if possible, sell this car to an enthusiast. And if any of you watching this is interested, again, I probably won't be selling this to anyone that I cannot meet personally, just for safety reasons and for fraud reasons. So if you live in California and want to stop by, or interested in, or seriously interested in purchasing this car, shoot me an email. I will leave my email address at the description below. Yeah, and we can discuss what you like to do. And again, I can guarantee the car's in perfect working order condition, and I know it's been tracked, but it's working properly, and it's been taken care of properly. I can guarantee you that. And I'll ask for fair value. You know, this car, it has been gifted without a whole lot of depreciation, thanks to the fact that it's been discontinued now, and this motor probably will never be rebuilt by Ford. And it's one of the greats from Ford. You know, they'll never build these type of high revving V8s probably ever again, to be honest. And if you want to kind of get a taste of that, you know, be excited about it, again, let me know. I'm selling this for personal reasons. You know, I might need some extra cash for buying out the business property, or you never know, I might actually purchase even a bigger and better car. Again, I'm always looking for another car to give me that excitement, and hopefully I can learn and get better at that car as well. So yeah, let me know if you're interested. I will not let anyone test drive this car themselves. Again, if you are around, what I'll do is I'll give you a ride along, and I think that's fair, because the way the car is, I do not feel safe about someone driving this car and doing a joyride on it. So, but I can, like I said, I can assure you, if you sit next to me, I'll show you what this car can do, and you won't be disappointed. And again, if you want, you can take it to any mechanics that you trust, and check if the car's been into an accident or not. Again, it has never been to an accident. And yeah, that's that. So well, thanks for following this Shelby GT350 vlog, and I think this is going to be the last video that I make for this car. And kind of sad, but at the same time, you know, it does excite me to see what could be next. It's either one's going to be exciting for me, so we'll see how it goes. Thanks, guys. Again, if you have any questions, leave comments below, and I still check my inboxes on YouTube, just if anyone has questions about this car, or if you own this car, same model, and you have questions or whatnot, let me know. All right, thanks. Take care. Have a great weekend. Bye.